Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at the best stacking units in the game. So when I talk stacking, just to clarify, stacking units are units that stack defense predominantly. Yes, these are units that stack attack and defense traditionally, but the one that most people are concerned about is defense. Nowadays with Festival of Battles, stacking offense is equally as important. So generally the consensus is that a unit must stack both now when you consider especially the Festival of Battles event. So because of that event, there's a very big priority on units that stack attack, stack defense, and we're going to talk about the best stackers overall in the game. So this is specifically basically, if you want a better term for it, the Festival of Battles tier list, because ultimately this is what you're going to use these units for. But yeah, so let's first grab the premier stackers currently in Dokkan Battle. So it's super important to take note that, like I said, nowadays stacking both attack and defense is absolutely critical when you are assessing a unit. No longer can we have the Halacron days of infinitely stacking defense, so we don't care about offense. Our units have to do a little bit of both, otherwise we're just not gonna have a good time, basically. So when it comes down to this, I think it's very important that people can assess units fairly based on this. Now all of these units we have are big time stackers, so they will stack attack, defense, they will do a lot with them, and they also stack in other ways. So they're very good, very good units, and we'll have to see how they go. There we go. We'll just take this form for baby. That's fine. So we got our 6 there. So units like free to play Bardock, by the way, is a great stacker, but he doesn't stack enough of what you want him to. He also doesn't stack fast enough, and he loses offense. So that kind of, really drags him down, so to say. But still, just an honorable mention for him. He's the best free-to-play stacker in the game, without a doubt. So definitely an honorable mention for him. Then we'll take Vegeta, and then we will take Kale. I'm not gonna take Kale. Where's my girls? So we need both girls. Yeah, recently got the easy A. Gonna talk about this guy as well for sure. Just need the right Caulifla, and we need the right girls for stacking. This is the only problem with these tier lists. You out here fighting for your life trying to find anything. Yeah, here they were. Okay, perfect. We'll talk through all these. And then just need the last one, the last piece of the puzzle. Where is Caulifla and Kale base? Where are they gone? Yeah, we're not this late in the cycle. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So we've got, as you will have noticed by now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 stackers. Now, the easiest one is Broly. Broly can solo Festival of Battles. Broly is able to literally solo the event, which is 3 multi-turn supports and good links. He is very good. Yes, he starts off slow, so you can even fail like the first turn of Festival of Battles. But you can also, in a normal event, he'll stack very quickly. He takes a little bit of time. You do have to manage his early 2 rounds or so, but Broly has the added benefit of once he gets going, he doesn't stop. We're talking guaranteed crits, 5 or 6 attacks a turn. We're talking a unit that gets stronger by getting hit by super attacks. He is the ultimate long game character, without a doubt. Then we're going to talk about these two as an equal to. I do obviously think that Vegeta is probably a bit better than Goku Vegeta, or Vegeta Goku, whichever you want to call it, but they're both still excellent. They have to switch, so you have to manage them, which can be a bit frustrating and can be a little bit annoying, especially when you talk like, you know, long term in events. It requires focus, so sometimes players don't like that. They don't want the, you know, like difficulty of focusing and trying to make sure that they have all the right things in place and trying to make sure that they are, you know, applying the right kind of thought process. Am I stacking attack? Am I stacking defense? Which one am I stacking? But the thing is they give you such good leeway, and damage wise, you know, outside of Broly, they are the next best stackers. Like, they definitely are really, really good. Sorry, I'm just looking for a unit while we're here. They are incredibly good, incredibly strong, and they just have so much going on. So it just makes them really, really good. And we just need the blue boys. Where'd they go? For this, after this, before this, there we go, lovely. So yeah, basically they're just really good from that perspective. Next we'll talk obviously about these boys. So the reason why these guys aren't here is although they stack beautifully, and they stack attack and defense at the same time, which makes them really strong because you don't have to do the switching, right? You just have to stack with them. Ultimately their peak is not as high as the other two. Although they can get very, very high peaks and they're simpler to use, they don't have the same peak as Goku Vegeta, Vegeta Goku. The active skill of those two makes them really strong, really potent, and the physical SS4 boys are great. I mean, Gogeta's a brilliant tank, but the damage is not huge. And the same with the God boys. Just brilliant character, just not necessarily absolutely fundamentally broken. Then things open up a lot. So things open up a lot for like the best stackers in the game, because this is where things start to kind of, not saying fall down a bit, but this is where things start to get a bit more selective on choice. So like a great example is, you probably from a pure stacking point of view, I would say Kale and Caulifla. They stack huge and they stack very quickly, and they can continue stacking really, really fast. They don't have a ton of condition requirements, and they can really kind of speak and just get going. Takes them a couple of turns, but then they end up being kind of like mini versions of Broly, which ultimately puts you in a good spot. Hit as well, incredibly good unit for stacking. Again, much like Broly, has his weaknesses those first couple of opening turns. Same with Kale and Caulifla, but it's the rate at which he can then start to really get nuts. And when you look at how good he can be, as a tank afterwards. You look at his damage, again, we're talking a crit-centric unit. This is a guy that can just pop off, do a lot of really good stuff. Then we get to, I would probably say, SS3, SS4 coup. So absolutely, definitely doesn't stack in the beginning, but can stack later on. And I mean, if you made him a primary stacker, he would stack very close to, you know, units like this. He is, however, usually run as a floater, which means you don't see the impact of the stacking so much. He's a good stacker, but he's not absolutely abhorrently broken, and he's just a solid unit to kind of have, doing his thing, being respectfully good, and honestly doing a great job. Then, in terms of stackers, is probably Kid Goku. You won't see it as much because his team's not there to carry in a long event, but he is insane. Like, he is really nuts. He can get super crazy. His on defense hit mechanic as well makes him super duper strong. The difference between him as a stacker and these guys as a stacker is he stacks at a similar pace. He actually could even exceed these guys, but his team just cannot do it. So you don't get to see that much from him. Wish I would put him here for his effectiveness as a stacker, probably. But if I'm talking whether you're actually going to see that happen right now, probably not. Eventually in future, hopefully we can see something from him. Next, we talk very interestingly about probably some more divisive units when it comes to stacking. So I want to talk about Gogeta, because Gogeta stacks attack. And yes, he doesn't stack defense, but if you've used Gogeta, the way his defensive mechanic works, he gets insane defense. He's not necessarily going to have the level to tank supers at the end of Festival of Battles, but his level of damage that he's going to do is going to be absolutely rocking. He is going to be doing probably some of the most damage on your team, even as a floating stacker. Like, he just stacks attack at an irredonkulous rate. And for me, because of that, it makes him so viable in long form events, because he can just get really ridiculous, which I think is great. And I'd probably say Vegeta. I think Vegeta is overlooked because, again, Dynamic Saga is what it is. But I think Vegeta is really, really good. I think he has a lot to offer. And I think he stacks really, really nicely. He's been used to beat Festival of Battles. He can be used for the Extreme Challenge. He can be used for a lot of challenges, a lot of missions. So he's really good. He has the ability. It's just you don't see it too much because it's the way you need to build teams to incorporate him. And then I'd say these guys. Look, I only mentioned these two just for fun, because I think they still stand the test of time sometimes, especially when you face Pure Saiyans and things like that. I think they stack incredibly well, and they can be super potent and powerful. Baby is good at stacking, but again, he suffers similar to Kid Goku. He's only raising attack and defense, and the way all of his raising works, especially at 55% without Big Bad Bosses active, like, there's a lot of work needed to get Baby to the point where he feels really comparable to these guys. Not that he's bad in any way, because he's providing a lot of other stuff, but I would say there is some hurdles in the way. And then Glorio is great, but Diamond's just not a team yet, and neither is Demonic Power. So once that happens, you'll see him a lot more. But he, by the way, is great in a ton of events as a floater, because he provides support to every single one of these units. I've used him with Broly to beat the Festival of Battles event, basically on their own. So he is still immensely powerful. And then, like I said, just the two fun mentions over there. But yeah, a different video. Thought might as well talk about stackers. I'll talk about some different types of units, because I think it's going to be really fun. And yeah, basically that's it from me. See you guys in the next one. Bye.